Joining us now, Congressman Adam Schiff. He's the Democrat of California. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. We have a lot to discuss, but first, what does it say to you that Republicans are now gearing up for another attempt to censure you after this latest effort today failed?
Well, look, I'm flattered that they view me as such a threat to them, that they view me as effective in holding Donald Trump accountable, and this is the way they want to lash out. But it's not going to deter me. They can introduce all the resolutions they want. It can be 16 million or 160 million. I'm not going to stop defending our democracy. But for the Speaker, Speaker McCarthy, to bring this stuff to the floor is an embarrassment. And it's also an abuse of the House resources. It would be laughable. I mean, you had George Santos today saying we got to pass this to restore integrity to the House. This stuff would be laughable if it wasn't, the House of Representatives. But it's clear the lunatics have taken over the asylum. And they want to try to distract from Trump's legal woes. They want to gratify his MAGA base by going after someone they consider his chief antagonist.
I know you've defended your previous comments alleging collusion between Trump and Russia. As Trump faces a historic indictment right now, have you learned any lessons, Congressman, on how to talk about his legal peril?
Well, Wolf, let's face it, Trump's campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, as you know, was giving internal campaign polling data and their battleground strategy for key states to an agent of Russian intelligence, something that most Americans call collusion. So my statements are accurate. I stand by them, as I think the American people do. But look, they're going to go after me no matter what. And I'm just going to keep on defending the truth. And I'm going to keep on defending our democracy. And the only lesson I take away from this recent attack is if you do your job and you stand up to the MAGA world, you got to be prepared to take all the incoming, and I'm prepared to do so.
What concerns do you have, Congressman, about these calls by some House Republicans to subpoena the special counsel, Jack Smith, and to try to defund his entire office?
Well, this is another reason why they're going after me, Wolf. I serve now as a senior member of the Judiciary Committee. Kevin McCarthy may rue the day he took me off intel because I'm in a position now to push back against Jim Jordan and the Republicans on the committee effort to interfere in the prosecution of Donald Trump. As I said last week, Donald Trump has plenty of good criminal defense lawyers. That's not the job of members of Congress to be on his defense team. But this is what they're trying to do, and I'm going to resist those efforts in every way I can. It's absurd to me that you have so many Republicans attacking the Justice Department. They were doing it before they even read the indictment. Now presidential candidates are saying they would pardon him. Clearly, in their view, it doesn't matter how many times he violates the law. It doesn't matter how serious his transgressions. They will stand by him because they think that's where the Republican base is at this moment. And they're willing to essentially ignore their oath of office and their duty to the Constitution to devote themselves completely to this flawed human being.
You're a former federal prosecutor out in California. Should the U.S. Justice Department, Congressman, ask Judge Eileen Cannon to recuse herself from this case?
I don't think there's a basis for the Justice Department to ask her to recuse herself based on her appointment by Trump or even the fact that her ruling, which was very beneficial to him, was overturned by a conservative circuit. I am concerned with her impartiality, not because she was overturned and not because of who she was appointed by, but the ruling that she made earlier, the appointment of a special master, is so unprecedented in a criminal proceeding like this that to me it does potentially betray a real bias here. And would cause, her judgments to be called into question. So I do have serious concerns about her, but I don't think there's a basis for the Justice Department to seek to remove her.
Congressman Adam Schiff, as usual, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Wolf.